Just finished at the gym today, and I feel like that's a part of what sparked this video topic. So let's get right into it here. I feel like men need to show up for themselves more. And what do I mean by that? In order to build that confidence within yourself, you have to do something consistently and something that pushes you outside of your comfort zone, because that's the only way to build competence. And once you feel that you are competent at something, that you can do it successfully, that's what will motivate you to continue doing said thing. And then that motivation turns into discipline, where you start to do that hard work regardless of how you feel. Now, for me, that stems from the gym or posting more on social media. For you, it might be drawing more, or writing that blog post, or writing that song, whatever your interest may be. But you have to show up for yourself in order to start to build that confidence. And I feel like nowadays, or I was gonna say millennials, people like me and Gen Z, we often feel pretty deflated or demotivated because we always see that there's someone out there doing better than us, that there is more to strive for. But what I've found is, when you're constantly looking at the next man, when you're constantly looking at all these gurus who have the fast cars, have all the women, the watches and everything, you start to feel so demotivated in yourself that you don't even want to put yourself out there, because you don't believe it's possible, because you realize how much work it takes and you don't think that that's something you can do. But I'm here to tell you that you can. And sorry, the flies are getting to me, but I'll start with a personal example. Back during COVID in 2020, I was a stick. I was about 120 pounds, and I decided, you know what? I'm tired of being small and feeling bad about myself. So I started going to the gym 6 days a week, doing the infamous push-pull leg split. Within the first about year and a half, I was up to 145 pounds, packed on a lot of muscle, and I looked drastically different. But what caused that change? It was me making the conscious decision that, hey, I'm tired of the circumstance that I'm living in right now, and I want to have something different. So I showed up for myself every single day. There were certain days where I didn't feel like going to the gym, but I was like, you know what? I've already been on a hot streak. I don't want to break this streak. And I was also improving in my form and overall strength. And that's where the confidence comes into play. Now that I could do things effectively, I'm like, you know what? I'm more motivated to go. Even when I was demotivated, the discipline kicked in the example I just stated, where some days you wake up and you just don't feel like lifting, or you just don't feel like doing that thing that you want to do. But you do it anyway because you know the growth that will come from it. And in doing those hard tasks, you build the confidence within yourself that allows you to show up for yourself more consistently. And that's what we need more of nowadays. We need more men who are willing to put themselves in uncomfortable situations in order to grow, in order to finally show up for themselves. And then once you're able to do that, you can show up better for the people around you, the people that you actually care about. Because for me, I want to be my best self, obviously for my own personal growth, but also for those that I care about. It's not fair of me to not be my best self, because then I'm letting that lesser version of myself rub off on other people. I'm giving other people this person that I'm not entirely proud of. And I know that some people say, pride is a sin. You're not allowed to feel proud of yourself. But I believe you're allowed to feel proud of the things that you've actually put work into. Like if you're showing up to the gym 6 days a week, that's something to feel proud of, because most people won't step in there for 3 days out of the week or get out of bed to even think about going to the gym. So that's something you're allowed to be proud of. And I could ramble on about pride, but I'll sum it up here. In totality, in order to show up for yourself consistently, you have to choose a path that you want to walk, whether it's going to the gym more, becoming an artist, becoming a writer, posting more. Once you've found that path, you have to take the small steps in order to build your confidence up. And as your confidence rises, so does your competence. You start to get better. You start to feel like you can do these tasks more efficiently. And once you're able to have confidence in a set area, that's where the motivation starts to kick in. You start to feel like, yes, I want to do this more. And then once you encounter that rough day where maybe it's raining outside and you don't really want to go to the gym, or maybe you just overall feel like trash on a certain day, the discipline starts to kick in, where you're like, you know what? I've been doing this for so long. I'm gonna feel a bit bad if I don't do it today too. and then you start to compound. That's where the growth comes from. It's essentially that saying that consistency compounds. Once you've seen the fruits of your labor, you're going to want to do the thing more, right? You probably have something in your life right now where you were absolute garbage at it when you started, but now you're a semi-professional. Like for me, I remember I used to do track. I was absolute dog water. I was a backup, like fifth string, if you want to call it that. And that irked me a bit. I'm like, you know what? I know I can do better. And I worked my way up to the varsity team. Things like that happen. You're going to have those bumps in the roads where you're not really going to be the best at a certain thing. But once you start to be consistent and you build your competence, that's where the showing up for yourself truly matters.